had the great pleasure of sitting down with the founder and CEO of State vs. Us magazine, Tia Hamilon, or as she's most famously known as Miss Connoisseur. Tia gives us an in-depth look into her life and how she was able to turn her circumstances into a voice for the falsely accused and falsely incarcerated, and also be a sense of hope for families dealing with the injustice of their jailed loved ones. She also tells us how she felt that she was finally fulfilling her purpose in life and being the voice for the folks that have no voice. So with no further ado, Miss Tia Hamilon, Xclusive.
All right. So we here, right?
Facts. Let's go.
Long time coming, but we here.
We're here.
Yeah.
Finally. I mean,
finally.
being treated like an orphan is fine.
Over
But we here. We finally here
Yeah.
before 2018 closed it out.
Absolutely.
Closed out with a bang.
Yeah.
And
So before we get into some of your, because I know you got a lot going on, especially the magazine. I definitely want to get more into that because I think what you're doing with that is really phenomenal. But I want to kind of get a little window into Tia, because I think a lot of people know you as Miss Connoisseur.
yes.
But I think people really don't know the real Tia. So if somebody was to really like look into a window and really just see to the heart of who you are, what would that look like?
A lit situation.
Okay.
I'm always lit. I wear my heart on my sleeve, so I love hard, I go hard, and how I treat you depends on you. So, but everyone gets treated the same initially. I hold it down, but until you show me otherwise, then you get treated according to how you treat me.
Okay.
But I'm pretty awesome. I'm dope. I help people. I maintain good relationships. I think relationships are important. Communication is important, and I'm both of that. I'm a great friend. I'm a great sister. I'm a great business person, and I'm just all around dope. And I'm just saying that just because it's me.
All right. So tell us a little bit, because you told me a little bit about your story, but to give people a little insight on your story, because you have a very, very interesting story. A lot of people don't probably know.
Yeah.
So tell us about
Because they
that.
know the Tia now, the reformed Tia, the changed Tia, but I'm a little different. Being in a blood gang, running drugs from New York to South Carolina, making millions of dollars in the drug game, having counties on lock in different states. A lot of people didn't know that. I still maintained my job. I still did hair in the hair salon. I still went to family occasions like normal. But I didn't have to do the things I did. Most people who go into the drug game and gang bang, they have real legit reasons, because that's the way they were raised. That's all they saw. They grew up in poverty, so they from the projects. They didn't have no other means of life, and that's what they was raised. Meanwhile, I was middle class. My mother graduated from Coppin State University as one of her degrees. She was a social worker. She worked every day, and now she's a teacher for over 25 years. My grandmother was involved. She took care of us when my mother was at work. I was a 3-sport athlete in school. I always was doing something, and I was successful at school. If the WNBA started before I graduated, I more likely would have went. So it was always a situation where I was taken care of. I was good. I didn't have to resort to the street life. I chose the street life. The streets didn't choose me. And that's the difference from me versus a lot of other people. I chose them. They didn't choose me.
So were you part of a single parent?
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah.
Did you ever know your father?
I knew that. He's a sperm donor. I knew of it. I knew of it. But the guy who raised us, him and my mother broke up. And when they broke up, he never left us. So this next week it'd be 2 years since he passed away.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, and her husband now, he like a father to me too. So that's my other father.
Yeah. Okay. So why did you? If you didn't have to, why did you?
Because I wanted to.
You wanted to.
I wanted to. And seeing my cousins and all of them come from New York, and I'm originally from Brooklyn. So we back and forth, I'm seeing all of this stuff. That still then give me the idea, like, oh, I want to be like them. I got guns coming to my head from police at 16, standing on the porch because they looking for my cousins and his friends. I seen all that. That still didn't drive me to want to do that. He came home in 2000. I was already the man in the street. He was like, what the hell happened? Mm-hmm. But I was putting him back on. I was giving him the work. I was putting him back in position to be the man again. So it was something that I just chose to do. And I wasn't forced to do anything. That's just what I wanted to do.
Okay. So did you ever have to go to jail? Did you have to serve?
Oh yeah, I was in and out of jail all the time. You give me a bail, I'm home. Mm-hmm. The only time I sat on a bail was for the attempt murder charge I fought. Mm-hmm. I was already out on bail for kidnapping. 3 months later, I went to jail on the attempt murder, and they gave me a no bail. So I fought for that for 10 months, and I came home. See, again, I'm blessed more than other people because you got dudes out here selling drugs every day, and when they get locked up, they don't have no money to come home, they don't have no money to put on their books, right. And people on the outside don't have no money to give them. Right. I always had a good Jew lawyer. Mm-hmm. I always had money for my cases. I always had money to fight any situation, legal problem I was in. I walked away felony free with everything. Oh, wow. My attempt murder got dropped, I beat that. My kidnapping got dropped to a false imprisonment misdemeanor. I walked away felony free. So I'm walking out here with the toughest charges and most serious charges that most dudes get every day, mm-hmm. And I'm felony free. Because everything I did, it may not have been smart to catch the charges, but it was smart in how to handle to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And everybody can't handle it like that. I've always dealt with things different outside other than what other people dealt with.
So what made you decide, I don't think I want to do this no more?
Well, when I was locked up, that sat down, getting a no bail, did something. And, a week before I had trial, I went to church and everything. Even though I was still doing me in jail, I was selling drugs in jail, COs made sure I was good. I'm a gangbanger. Mm-hmm. You got the dudes on the other side, they knew I was there, they were sending stuff over to make sure that I was comfortable, I was taken care of. So, but I knew that it had to stop. I said, I said a prayer. I said, Lord, you get me out of this. I promise I'll drop my flag. I won't sell no more drugs. I'll do right. Mm-hmm. And the prophet told me, she said, you going home. We don't have to worry. A week later, I came home at trial.
Wow.
At trial, they let me go.
Okay. So did your mom ever know? Or
yeah, she found out all kind of stuff in court. She did. She had an idea, but she could never pinpoint it and put her hands on it. Mm-hmm.
How was that conversation?
Well, my mother know I'm real. Like, yo, don't question me. This is what it is. Mm-hmm. See, America, especially America period, no matter what race you are, we are raised to work for other people. Mm-hmm. We are raised to do right, go to school, go to college, graduate, and work for someone else. I broke that generational curse in my family. I'm not working for nobody. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard. I was a bail bondsman, I might add. This month made 16 years, but I've been a bail agent and a bounty hunter. Okay. So I'm out here bugging out, and I'm doing the same thing, right. Untouched. So she had a hard time processing me being a bail agent and working for myself. She looked at it that's not a real job. Anything you pay taxes on is a real job. You know what I'm saying? But she saw how that money was coming in, and she was like, how can this be a job? She just couldn't process it. Because again, she's in college every year for your job that's forcing you to take credits every year and spend money, and to keep up with them, you got to keep paying for college courses and classes just to remain a teacher, which is all about money to me. Because why you keep needing that same thing? So she couldn't process that I was a business owner and I was working for myself and doing the opposite of what she did. She wanted me to go to college. I did a semester, I gave you that. I couldn't do it. So I moved to the next, and I would never force that on my son. Let me know what you want to do, your angles, and let's work towards your goals. Right. So the conversation was wicked, especially when she heard all that stuff come out in court. Now, Lord, she was like, everybody was in the courtroom like, what? because you know when you're in court, they reading your statement of charges.
Right.
They reading everything, how the situation happened, how it unfolded. So she's sitting in court making noises in the back. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. What? And the judge like, order in the court. No noise, please. So it was, I want to say it was difficult for her. It was more of a shock that I went that far. She always knew I was tough. You know what I'm saying? I was a fighter. I scrapped anybody in the streets, men especially, boys. So she already knew what that was. She just didn't know it was this level of getting gritty in the streets. She didn't know that until she came to court, came to my trial date, and she heard all that stuff unfold. It was wicked for her.
So outside your mother, was there anybody else that you kind of looked to and maybe was there to kind of give you, because sometimes we may not always have somebody that has those encouraging words. So was outside of your family, was there anybody that, no?
It was auntie in New York, my grandmother and my mother, and my pops. But see, my pops, it made my mother mad because he was more so on my side. Like, let her live. She gotta learn. You can't dictate every move she made. You can't dictate how she gonna move out here and where she gonna work and what college she gonna go to, because that's what my mother was trying to do. And when she finally realized to let go and let God, then it was more easier for her to stomach. It was more easier for her. But once she figured it out, like, we wasn't cool back then. But now, like, what's up, shorty? We like, dope. That's my homie. That's my mom Dukes, and I do anything for her. Even then, I do anything for her. But we wasn't seeing eye to eye because she wanted me to live the life that she wanted me to live, and you can't do that. Let me live.
Right. Okay. So tell us a little bit about, because you said you were from New York.
Originally, Brooklyn.
Okay. What made you come?
My mother. We moved here as kids.
In Baltimore?
Yeah.
Okay.
My grandmother's sister, she was sick with cancer. So everybody moved down here to take care of her. When she passed away, we never went back. But my mother kept us back and forth in New York, going back and forth. And every year, almost every other month, we was in New York, and I stayed in the hood. People already know what's going on there and stuff like that. So she never kept us from where we was rooted from at all. And then when I started selling drugs, you could forget it. I was in New York every day, back and forth, building, selling keys. And then that key turned into 5 keys. And 5 keys turned into, I ain't gonna keep talking about it. You already know.
Right. Okay, law, statute of limitations.
Yes. Facts.
Right. Okay, so now you said you were Bell's Boston, but now you kind of in the entertainment role.
Yeah.
So what made you get that bug?
Y'all. You did it. You sent one of your producers on Facebook to look for a sports show, and that's how she found me and these other 2 guys. And it was a situation that happened, and I emailed you to tell you, thanks for the opportunity, but I'm good. And that's when you guys offered me my own show, and that's when Uncut Sports Talk Radio was birthed. And it was a hit from the first show, the first 5 minutes. It was a hit. And Uncut Sports Talk spearheaded everything else that I'm doing.
Right.
From owning a radio station, WMSKOnlineradio.com, to owning a magazine, and all the connects and plugs that I plugged into. It was because of WPB Radio with you, and then Uncut Sports Talk Radio. It just blew crazy, and it just introduced me and kicked in the door to a lot of opportunities.
Okay. And you've been going ever since?
I've been going ever since. What was that, 2011, 2010?
Yeah.
2011, like 7, 8 years ago. Right. So I haven't stopped. And I'm not even beginning though. I haven't really started. That's the ill part. 8, 7 years, I haven't even started, and so much has been accomplished and done.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I want to get a little bit about the magazine. I remember you talking about it a couple of years ago, and it was something it seemed to me like it was close to your heart. So tell us, what made you decide to do this, State versus Us?
Well, I always wanted to talk about it. My ex that sent me to jail for the 10 murders, he wrote me after 10 years and finally apologized. Something he'd been writing me throughout the time. I just was ignoring it. But this particular letter a year ago, or a year and a half ago, he wrote and apologized. Something I just been waiting for him to do. Because it was your fault. So he apologized, and I told him to call me. So when he called me after a few conversations, he also found out that I was in the industry. And he said he wanted to do a magazine, and what he wanted to do was just talk about everyday life in prison. I said, well, I don't mean to be, rude, but don't nobody care about everyday life in prison. I was in jail. I didn't even care about what everyday life was going on. You know what I'm saying? So he wanted me to own the magazine while he helped me do what was needed, because he locked up to this day. He locked up right now. So I said, well, if I'm going to get involved in this, it got to go in a different direction. It got to go a whole totally 360 of what you're trying to do. I said, I want to talk to wrongful inmates that's in there, men and women who's wrongfully convicted. I want to talk to them. I want to talk about high profile cases. I want to talk about the corruption in the police department, the prison system, and the government. And I want to talk to success stories of former inmates like myself.
Right.
Let's get into that. Meanwhile, we're going to add this financial literacy, this real estate advice. I'm a sports nut. We got to have that in there. And then I'm going to use my industry friends and put them in it and tell their stories and their side to what they went through by going in and out of prison, or if they on the front line fighting to end mass incarceration like me. I'm always been into fighting to end mass incarceration and get our brothers and sisters home from behind that G-wall. So this was a no-brainer for me to take this magazine and bust it down and make it happen and be the voice of the voiceless.
So I'll start with the stories, because I know you have a lot of stories in here.
Yes.
So which one really kind of touched you the most?
The second.
The second one.
Second got me pissed off.
Okay.
Even while doing the interviews, it was, see, the first one, it just gives you an introduction, which is me.
Right.
I'm on the cover of the first one. I introduced it to the world with me on the cover and my story.
Okay.
Just a little bit, something light, you know what I'm saying, about me. And it's real inmate stories in here. Dudes that's locked up, men, women that's locked up, they talking their stories in these magazines. But when I did this second one, I wanna arrest the officers who did that to Khalif Browder.
Okay.
I wanna get the FBI agents who did that to Black Panther Eddie Conway. I wanna get up with the streets who misled and wrongfully directed my son. So these stories will make you wanna, like, where they at? Let's pull up on them. The second issue will have you angry, make you mad, cry, or whatever because of what's going on in it.
Right. So when you do these interviews, do they send you the letters, or do you actually go in and interview them?
I would like to start and find a way inside the prison to sit down, like do one-on-ones like we're doing, and sit down and talk to them and get their story in depth. I would love to figure it out and do that. But in the meantime, I send them interview packets.
Oh, okay.
And they fill out the interview packet. It's like 36, 38 questions,
Right.
8 pages long, and they go in detail. Don't miss a beat. Go in detail and talk about it. You get to find out who their celebrity crush is. Because people think because you locked up, it's over for you. It's shut down. Like, you don't have no thoughts, no feelings, no anything. And truth be told, these men and women, they really got thoughts and feelings inside that G-wall. You get to find out, reading their interviews, how they feel inside about politics, the government, education being taken away from the prison, how the Black Lives Matter movement is viewed from their court case and how they was railroaded. A lot of them shouldn't even be in jail. You got dudes that's in there who's been illegally sentenced. I get fan mail. I get family emailing me or calling me or texting me or tagging me on social media, thanking me for this magazine. It's no other magazine like it.
Right.
It is none.
So what made you call it State versus Us? What you go with that name?
It's the states
The state.
versus us. It's the government versus us.
Right.
And if people who ever been locked up or deal with law, they know that the lettering on state on the logo is the lettering they use in the government.
Oh, okay.
That's the beauty in it.
Right.
This lettering is the lettering you're going to see on court documents.
Okay.
And it done got so big that the feds, dudes that's locked up in the feds, men and women, they want their stories told in here too.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Huh. Okay.
Because I'm on prison catalog, so it's going in federal and state, so they seeing it. And they write. And I send out the interview packet. And they send it back. Consent form signed, ready to go.
Okay. So for those who may want to get in contact with you, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
Email.
What's your
I cannot give out my number no more. That I'm telling you, because people call for no reason.
Right.
So the email is statevsusmag@gmail.com. They can reach me on that, or they can reach me on social media. Facebook is State VS US Magazine. Instagram is State VS US. DM me. I answer everybody, even the trolls. I answer them too.
I don't.
I answer them too because you're not about to come in and be disrespectful.
Right.
So I mean, I verbal abuse if I have to. I will, because this fight is serious. You're not about to tell me that black people deserve this. We've been dealing with this for 400 years. When the hell is it going to end? But black people got to stop playing with each other too.
Yeah.
We play too much. If we taking up black America taking up 12.3 of the U.S. population, but we taking up 34% of the prison population, we have a problem. We have a real big problem. And black youth taking up 79% of youth that's incarcerated. We have a problem.
Yeah. So where do you see taking this? Because I know you want to go way beyond. So where do you see taking this?
Well, it started, transitional houses is what I always wanted to do years ago. Now I done built that platform, it's easier for me to get this thing popping now. So within the next 6 months, I have supportive housing coming for men and women coming home from prison. But I'm only getting those who did 10 years or more locked up. Studies show that 10 years or more incarcerated, it's an 80% chance you stay home. Those are the ones I need to target, because they're going to take it more serious and they're going to do what they need to do to get this prison reform and re-entry back into society completed. So with the supportive housing, I'm using my brothers and sisters, black-owned businesses, to outsource mental health, job development, banking, financial literacy, real estate, jobs, everything. And I'm also building a temp agency to go with the supportive housing that's going to provide them jobs. I already got 5 black-owned companies that's already contracted with me right now.
Okay. So the mental piece is interesting, because I think that's the big thing that we're dealing with now is a lot of people, they're dealing with not maybe something that they've gone through. It's a reason why they are in the situation, and I don't think we ever dealt with the mental part of that.
Do you know, because black people hear mental health and think it's a white thing. Just like white people think every black person is a thug. Not even true. We need to stop being scared and afraid of the word mental health. Now, what we also need to do is stop letting them medicate our kids at the sign of being hyper or energized in school. We got to know when and where to put our child on a medicine. I don't think that medicine needs to be placed on no child. I don't. So in the magazine, I have a mental health segment where we talk about mental health. In issue 3 that's coming out in a month or so, Run DMC from Run DMC is my mental health piece. A lot of people don't even think that he battled mental health. That was part of the downfall in his career, because he battled with that and alcoholism. You know what I'm saying? In issue 1, the mental health piece is Cobra from Black Ink Chicago. She dealt with that. They had her medicated when she would sleep from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. at night. She woke up, sometimes didn't even know where she was, So she said she got off of that and started smoking weed. People need to stop being afraid of weed. Cat Williams said you take 13 Tylenols, that'll be your last time, right? Weed never killed nobody. Marijuana we got to get off the stigma. It's from the earth, it's being grown right. As long as you're not lacing it up, because some retard decide they want to make some money and lace it up and send you retarded. Marijuana doesn't hurt anyone. It will kill all your ailments. Your knees won't be painful no more or nothing. You'll be fine. So we have to learn how to educate ourselves in certain areas and stop being so judgmental. Black people are very judgmental. of each other.
Right.
Them white people, they know they wrong, but they standing tall with their counterpart.
Right.
We gotta stop playing. The Jewish dollar circulates 17 times before it leaves. Our dollar only once. We have a problem.
Right.
We have a real problem. We gotta support us. It's not about Gucci, but what is your brother over here who's selling clothes? Oh, because you think his clothing brand not named Gucci, that it's not the same quality, or it can't have the potential to be the same quality? We just look at, we battle the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
We wrong over the wrong situations.
Right.
So it's just, we just gotta do better.
Do better.
We gotta do better.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, tell us what you have going on as far as personal wise. I know you have a son that's playing football right now.
Listen, he top in the city, top in Baltimore City. His name is Kamani, number 6 at Poly.
Okay.
He go to the top school in Baltimore City,
Then
which
what you
is
gonna say is Poly.
Poly. It's the top school in Baltimore City, and it's ranked with the private schools in the country.
Okay.
Top 20. He's having a good time.
That's good.
He's a beast. He's definitely got Penn State looking at him.
Okay.
He worked out for them over the summer. So now we're going to get in with Georgia Tech and VTech and LSU, and they're going to start paying attention. He's coming up on his junior year. I'm all the way lit. I'm excited. And I don't miss no games. Yes.
Your mama?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm letting him know these chicks is not where it's at. You got plenty of time. I need him to follow the Derek Jeter method. Derek Jeter didn't play with these chicks. Soon as he retired, he got a wife and a baby.
Right.
He didn't let that distract him from the goal. Finish your career, because these chicks are wicked.
Right.
So I'm teaching him that you can still have fun, but you got to be careful who you having fun with. And you got to be mindful that you got fame. You got chicks coming at him now. It's weird.
Yeah.
So we got to, I'm guarding the investment.
Right. Okay.
We're not letting this investment go down in flames over no female.
Okay.
We're not doing it.
All right.
No.
So before we get out of here, make sure that you definitely get the magazine, because it's not just for people in jail, but it is for those who just want to educate.
It's to make people aware of what's going on. I'm the voice of the voiceless.
Right.
So if you ride on a plane, you want to read this.
Right.
If you on a train, or you just traveling and carpooling, whatever, take the opportunity to educate yourself on what's going on outside of your world. We too comfortable.
Yeah.
People need to be already ready to help and not help when it happened to you.
Exactly. So where can they get a magazine?
StateVSUSMag.com.
Okay. So.
And if they ordering for an inmate, use the promo code in all caps, prison reform. It's free shipping.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing free shipping. If you order through my website and you ordering for a loved one that's incarcerated, promo code is prison reform in all caps, and I'm giving free shipping to anybody that's getting a magazine inside that prison.
Okay. All right. So make sure you pick up your magazine and
issue 3 coming.
Issue 3 coming.
The 4th issue is the anniversary issue, is the bigger issue, got the Biggie tribute.
Okay.
And it has the Pink Panther clip.
Okay.
Get familiar with them young ladies who were incarcerated with the feds. They home and they making a change in the world. I wrote with them, and we all doing great things, speaking at prisons, speaking at schools, going to these women empowerment conferences, and I'm the official magazine of the Women's March.
Nice.
Yes.
That's dope.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You heard it here first, though.
Okay.
I haven't even told social media yet. You heard it here first.
All right.
So I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It was a reason that I was spared, so I could be out here, because I'm strong enough to fight this battle that they trying to test me in.
And that's important.
Yes.
Yeah, you always have a vision. You're always here for a reason.
Yes.
And like you said, this was your
Absolutely.
vision. So, well, thank you for sitting down with me.
Thank you for having me.
Because I've known Tia for a little bit. We've had our ups and downs, but through all of it all, I've always respected a lot of what you do and who you are. I knew a lot about you, so I want folks to actually get an insight to who you were.
Right.
Because a lot of people, they only see certain
Right.
things, and they, everybody has their perception of people, and I always tell
Right.
people to listen. you know, that's not who they are as a person.
Right.
You got to get to know who the
Right,
person is.
right.
So, yeah. So I'm glad that we were able to sit down and talk about it, because I saw what you're doing. I always look and see, and I said, this is awesome. When you came out with this, I said, you know what? She has something here.
I
Because like
appreciate
you
it.
said, that this is not, nobody else is doing this.
Right.
So the fact that you are highlighting these stories and these families, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That really is awesome.
and the celebrities that I choose, 9 times out of 10, they've been in jail or been in trouble, or they fighting for social injustice issues. So I'm choosing people wisely, but I'm putting other celebrities in it too that just for the fun of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we got people who doing real things out here. That my son, that's the bro.
Okay.
He's where it's at.
Okay.
And for him, like me, we did a 360 on our life. Because we was wicked in the street. Like, we was vicious. Nobody wanted no problems. So now we using what we know to educate and channel to these kids to this day.
And that's what's needed. That's what's
Yep.
needed. Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
All right, ladies. All right, so make sure that you check out more of Exclusive with April J. I did one with Susan Smallwood, and now I'm here with Tia Hamilton, and much more to come. So, like I said, thank you again.
I
And
appreciate
make sure you check out the magazine.
Yes. Please.
Check it out.
Please.
All right. See you next time.
You got your girl Tia, Miss Console Hamilton, baby. The owner of State vs. Us magazine. We got issue 1 and 2. Right now, statevsurmag.com. Get your issue. We highlighted high-profile cases. Talk about wrongful convictions, corruption in the police department, the government, and the prison system. You don't want to miss it. Real inmate stories from the minds of the hardened convict. And celebrity stories of your favorite celebrity. Don't forget, we taking care of our brothers and sisters in the G-Wall. You can order for them right now at statevsurmag.com. Use the promo word prison reform in all caps and get free shipping. This is for the G-Wall. This is for the people. I work for the people. Support and help end mass incarceration. Voice of the voiceless. State vs. Us magazine.